Welcome everybody. I am Holly Burns. Welcome to my live tonight. I'm excited to do live readings for you guys. How I work is I am a psychic and a medium, which is similarly the same thing. Basically, they use the word medium to say that you can speak with the other side or dead people. However, pretty much anybody a psychic is getting information from most of the time is from somebody on the other side. It's their spirit guide, their angels they work with, things like that, but they don't realize that's all being a medium as well. And all of us are mediums all day long because all of us are getting our messages from the other side, from our guidance all day long. That's what keeps you alive. Your higher self and you have a complete telepathic connection 24/7 for your entire life that keeps you alive. So everybody's a medium, so it's really no big deal. But as my abilities have grown through the years, I have expanded who I speak with from my go-to spirit guides that work with me 24/7 to any soul in the universe. So any soul in the universe is fair game. If you guys have a question, though, you do not need to specify your question to anybody specific whatsoever. Don't worry about that. The answers will come from whoever is supposed to answer, and that's my area. But if you do want to speak with somebody specific, feel free to specify to me that you want to ask somebody specific a question. I work with my own abilities as well as the other side's knowledge, and what I do is I kind of like work together with your Akashic record, or that's the universe's library of everything that's ever happened to you in your entire lifetime, all your lifetimes actually as a soul. It's kept in this big place they call the Akashic record, and I've grown to realize that that's what I'm accessing with my clients' lives. And so you can start telling me a little bit of information, and I kind of like open up your library book and I start getting information about extra things around you in your lifetime, because everything that happens to us is recorded forever into the Akashic record, and it's accessible to anybody to access at any time. So I do that, and I read your past, present, and your future. So I do a lot of that in your readings as well. I can read the energetic trajectory of something. So if we're wondering about something that might be coming in the future for you and what that would be for you, I kind of test that trajectory compared to all the other infinite choices you could make. And I can compare the energy to that to see which has the most fruitful, positive feeling road for you to go down, and which one's resistant and heavy. So I do a lot of that myself within your reading, as well as downloading information from the all-knowing realm. I work with a group of souls that speak to me in one voice. They have been working with me since 2006, 24 hours a day. That consists of my spirit guide Ander and many other guides that work with me, and they've never really told me their exact name, so I call them the elders. They are master level souls. However, they are past the level of needing to incarnate, and they are all-knowing souls that work with us in our lives and help us. Another thing you can do is you can get your message of the day. You can ask the all-knowing realm what they think is the most important thing for you to know at this time, and I will get that message for you. What I do is I take whatever is bothering you that's pulling you out of alignment, and we work on that, and we change our perspectives. We get all-knowing advice about that and all-knowing perspectives so that we can bring our lives into full alignment. When you're in full alignment, you're manifesting a life that's in full alignment. So it in turn creates a higher trajectory for yourself and a higher vibrating life and higher vibrating results in your life. I'm going to be making a new update on the Great Awakening and the timeline of what's coming up between now and 2027. So there are some really big things coming down the pipe that a lot of the psychics across the world have been getting the same information, and researchers as well. So scientists, researchers, psychics, all getting the same information. We're all converging onto the same timeline, so it's really exciting. So I'll be doing some updates on that, so watch for that on my YouTube channel. I also work with some lovely beings called the Sasquatch people that are just like us. We're actually half related to them. And they are wonderful beings and have much to teach us. And I have a lot of content coming on my channel about that as well on my YouTube channel. He says, I just consulted with a nutritionist and shared intermittent fasting. What is your energy behind this, and what do they recommend for a boost in health? That is so interesting you would say that, because I was just listening to a woman on that popped up on my Instagram post last night, and this happens all the time, where the elders will lead me to something that's going to come up in a reading the next day or two. So I'm just listening to this woman last night, and she's saying that humans are not made to eat 3 meals a day, and that 3 meals a day come from the Rockefellers, and that in the olden times man would eat once a day, and we would fast for much of the time in between, and that when we fast is when we're energizing, because when we're sleeping and we're not eating, that's when the body's healing itself. And she was all for fasting. But when I was reading what she was saying, I was getting negative energy about it. So now you're asking me about this now. So I guess that means we're supposed to delve into it a little bit, right? So let me get some background from you. Okay. Oh, no, I haven't had a chance to talk to them yet about the structures that you found, but let's ask them that too, okay? That's going to be the second thing we're going to do. Oh, that's going to be really fun. Okay, so the first thing is, what's the energy behind this? Okay, and started. Oh, you started intermittent fasting. You're starting intermittent fasting. Okay, the elders are saying, in certain situations with certain people, it can be helpful at certain times. But it is not a blanket piece of information recommended to absolutely everybody all the time. It's kind of, they're saying it has to do with the person's sleep cycles, how much they're sleeping, how active they are during the daytime. They just said less active people that have jobs maybe where they can't be as active, because I'm just running all day long. I mean, when I'm doing readings I'm sitting here, but otherwise I have horses, and I'm a very active outdoors person, and I know you hike a lot, but maybe only on weeknight or weekends. Weekdays I know that you have to be sedentary for your daytime job. And so they're saying if the person doesn't move around as much, then the intermittent fasting could be helpful for them, because it gets their body to move some things through. You can, in exchange for intermittent fasting, you can just move around more and be more active. They said that's kind of the same thing as intermittent fasting, because it's moving the energy through your body and it's getting it released outside of the body, because your digestive system has to work harder to keep you going, and all the body systems have to wake up and actually work and get rid of waste and excess things. They said what's really happening is the energy of the human beings is getting more doggy. They're saying it's kind of dogged down. So if you feel dogged down personally with things are bogged down, then they need to kind of get everything moving and grooving. And so they said it's a great way for some people to get their energy up. And they said it's more about their energy field than it is the actual internal physical shell. You're actually activating your energy body and your light body in certain ways. So they said it's a tool. And for however long you need to use it for, use it. Now let's for fun, let's pull a card on how you're going to feel about doing the intermittent fasting in, should we do 2 weeks out? I feel good energy for you. Got the Temperance card. That's the last one. The first one is this one. Where am I going? I'm backwards. First one is the High Priestess. That is mysterious, secret, inside information, but feeling lighter. Oh, lighter and airier as well. This is also about feeling light and like floating, because she's kind of floating off the water. So they're saying you're going to feel a lot lighter and airier energetically. So you're less bogged down. The opposite of being bogged down. So that's going to be good for you. They're making the flame on the center cup jump out to you here. There you go. Now you can see that. There's a flame behind the center cup. And so they're talking about lots of little meals, little pocket snacks and things around the clock. So, they're saying after you're done with the fasting, in 2 weeks, you might feel more like going back to, they're saying if you want to switch back and forth to something like this versus the total fasting, they're saying whatever feels good for you, and you might end up being more of a snacker than a meal person after you're done with this. It might kind of convert you more to wanting to eat little pockets of food. The next card they're giving me is Temperance, which is complete peace and harmony, and that's mixing oil with water. And those two things don't normally mix, but they do mix in this card, and she's lovingly mixing them both. What they're saying is you might alternate between intermittent fasting and then something else, and then intermittent fasting again, and then something else. And it might be that little snack thing. There's something resistant that's happening that's causing you to need to want to do the fasting. This is resistance in your life. Something that's causing a little bit of heaviness to go. And there's the guy is holding his stomach. So they're talking about his, okay. Okay. They're talking about his gut. And they're talking about your gut health. So they're saying, like, foundationally, they want you to really work on building the health of your gut as well. Like the flora and fauna, the enzymes, probiotic, prebiotic, you know, so we can talk about what you've been doing and what would be good for you to add into that protocol so that you can really increase that. Absolutely everything in our body goes back to that foundational place from the belly button down energetically with our lower chakras. So our lower chakras must be healthy as well. And those are the lower, that's the area of our body where we stuff our emotions down. So they're saying like stuffing things down, like resistant things. So they said, you know, anything right now in your life that's a little resistant, make sure that we're keeping watch of not letting that bog you down energy-wise. So it all comes together, you know, right? You know, what's going on in our life, and then that kind of becomes sometimes stored in our lower chakra system energetically in the lower part of our body where we kind of stuff things. And then that makes us feel bogged, and then we feel like, oh, how am I going to get unbogged? And then we go back to fasting and the meals. So they're saying it's like a cycle and a circle. So they're saying one thing that can help is to really work on learning as much as you can about your own personal gut health in general and really bringing that up to as high as you can bring that. This is action card of moving forward with focus and determination about that. But then in the meantime, they're giving me the Star card, which is my really, really most peaceful card. Oh, but she's stretching. Yoga. So they're saying like the yoga that you do is really, really good for stretching things out. And when you're doing your yoga, focus on your core and develop a protocol to really activate this area of the body a lot while you're doing your yoga, because what they're showing is that she's stretching and she's releasing out her arms. The energy from her core is being released out her arms and legs while she's stretching. So she's activating that area. So they're saying really work on that, and that also that you are still healing from a recent health issue that also, if you look through your body, it's kind of also in that same area of the body. So it's all just getting it back online, getting everything about you back online again, energetically speaking. So hopefully that will give you some good indications there. Lighter energy was the goal. Okay, perfect, because that's what they're saying you'll get from it. And that the whole thing was energetic. So, yeah, like the whole thing is energetic in nature for them, too, as well. So, that sounds like that was right on for you. So, awesome. Phenomenal. Oh. Okay. Let me tune to the Sasquatch people now and see what they want to tell you about the structures and... What do you want to... Do you want to know something specific about the structures? Like, do you want to know, like, why they're making them? What they're using them for, or why they led you to them, if there's a message for you. The elder just said, all the above. Yeah. Okay, all the above. All right, why? And do you know how long that really big structure has been there for? Because I'm going to tune into them about that first big structure right now and why they built that there. Because I'm trying to find out Oh, is it really them? Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Let's ask that. Mm-hmm. They just said, mm-hmm. I assumed it was from the beginning, too. I was just talking to them about it because I was wondering if they put it there to start a dialogue with you. They said mostly not. They said mostly not. They said they're mostly efficient with what they do. They said if they're going to build a big structure, it's not going to be just to pull Steve in curiosity wise. I said it's going to have a purpose for what they're doing with it. They just said, do you think humans are going to have the patience to build all that? Like, yeah, probably not. That thing would take humans, gosh, a really, really, really long time to make. There, you can see if I take the glare off the sides of the phone here, you can start to see this structure. This is unfreaking believable, you guys. Look at, and that's only like 30% of the structure. Look at how much detail there is in this structure. It is unbelievable that he came across this. And on the back side of that photo is a freaking walking path. It's like 15 feet, 20 feet from a very commonly used walking path as well. So that's just absolutely the coolest, one of the coolest structures I've ever seen in my entire life. It's quite unbelievable. I hope you guys go watch the video of it on my channel. The elder of this clan here is talking to me, and he just said to you, Steve, he's like, do you really think humans are going to have the patience to do that? Look at all those little twigs in there. There are so many little teeny weavings, and the thing about it is that if humans are going to build something like this, they're not going to build it in that style. That's the thing that I always notice. The Sasquatch structures are always zigzaggy and a lot of Y shapes and X's, and they don't have a human mind rhyme or reason to them. Where humans are like, okay, let's build it in a square, let's build the walls, let's build the side, let's make a structure, let's make X's, let's make straight up and down and straight horizontal things and build walls, right? And the Sasquatches, they just don't build that way. So what they were saying is, they were saying that they are the ones building them. They said humans would not build it, they would not have the patience to put all those sticks in there like they do. Because they're like, we don't have a job to have to go do all day. So we have time, like that is our job, to weave sticks and make the structures the way we want them. And let me ask them what the purpose is. Usually the purpose is for hunting and or human watching. So they use the human walking paths to make it easier to catch prey. They just said, well, a lot of things go down the path at night. It's on a path that you don't usually go to, as it's on the opposite side of the park. What kind of structures do you see close to where you park? Does it seem like they get more prolific? Now, do most people park where you park? Because if you're a little further out from, yes. Are you a little, okay, so is there parking that's accessible to everywhere, or is there like one main parking lot, and then as you walk you're getting further and further? There's a difference to the structures as you get closer to where the humans are, and as you get further away back into the part of the park where the humans aren't going as much, you'll see more larger prolific type structures further out away from the people area, and you'll see the ones that are very good for peeping at humans closer to the human area. I'm asking them if they're building all of them or if humans are doing any of them at all, and I'm not getting that humans are much of a factor in that park for you at all. Okay, there are so many structures on my side, not far from the parking lot, that keep me occupied. Really? Very interesting. Very interesting. They do make a lot of structures for people watching. A lot of structures for people watching. That's so fun. Oh my god. You'll find that the Sasquatch people pretty much live everywhere. Something took a bite out of my pumpkin. Somebody just texted me. a question about that. They want to know if I have any ideas of what took a bite out of their pumpkin. But let me show you guys the pumpkin bite, and let's see what this is. Look at that. I have to check my contacts and see who this is. But look at that. There's a big bite taken out of a pumpkin. Now, if you look at that crossways, that could definitely be the width of a Sasquatch jawline, for sure. That's very interesting. I guess I would have to see, I'd have to look at the details there, show you guys the details of the insides of that and what kind of, yeah, there we go, what kind of marks you're seeing on it right there. That's quite interesting. I can pull a card on it after this. They're telling me, like, humans might do something here or there, but not really, not much. He said, like, you know, once in a while you might get a kid that makes a little something something here or there, but they're saying for the most part it is them. They're very active. Like, you know, that park butts up to a river very close by. If I recall correctly, there's a river, and so there's like a waterway that they can travel up and down, and they've got kind of an access point to further wilderness out from that park. So it's just the perfect, you just are in the perfect place, is you've got all this people for them to be attracted to, but yet all this flora and fauna for them structurally, nutritionally, for them to stay all year round quite comfortably. They just said they have a message for you. So let me see what that message is. I'm going to pull some cards on that. So what I just did was a message for you. I just kind of went, I took in a deep breath, and I just sat here like this, and I was just kind of very calm and still like this. They're saying they want you to do that out in the woods. They said, go to a spot that feels good, where you feel very comfortable, most of the time probably away from other walkers or hikers, and they want you to just sit, and that they're laughing. My clan here is laughing at me right now going, yeah, we'd like you to do that too. And I'm like, yeah, you're probably not going to get me to do that very often because I always have so much to do. I just don't have time to just go sit in the woods. But they're saying they want you to just, and they gave me this card twice about you. They gave me this card twice. They gave me this card last time. They're giving me to it again now. This is the Ace of Pentacles with the, this is like the deer in the forest for sure. And the pentacle is a subject matter that they want to talk about. One big thing sticking out subject matter wise. Because I'm wondering if they're talking about the deer and them using the consciousness of the deer to work with you directly, either channeling their energy through the deer or shape-shifting into the deer. That happens to us a lot. The people that work with the Sasquatch people have this experience a lot, where we see a deer and we feel like the deer isn't a deer. And there's eyewitness accounts of Sasquatches shape-shifting into deer. One person saw a Sasquatch shape-shift into a white deer, or they saw the white deer shapeshift into the Sasquatch, one of the two, but they are very good shapeshifters. Sasquatches are very good with energy compared to us, and you know, we are just energy. All of our cellular structure is just energy, and they can change their form. They can change their physical form into something else. The advanced ones can, and you know, that's beyond most humans. There are humans that can do it too. If you listen to TLS on unified.com, the Conversations with Ray, there are people that work for TLS, the Light System, which is a clandestine group of 8,000 individuals that are all working on the planet to go against the evil. So they're the white hats, they're the good people, and several of them can shapeshift. However, according to the person that's the go-between between the TLS and us, Jason Shirka, he said that you have to be born with the ability to shapeshift. It is an actual genetic thing if you're going to be able to be a shapeshifter or not. You're born that way or not as in the human body. And so, and several of them can do it that work for TLS. So they're talking about that with you. So beware, because the eyes of that deer, if you look at the eyes of that deer, it looks, you know, very conscious and sentient, right? Like it's just looking right through you. So that's one thing that they want to talk about. They're working with you in some capacity with your consciousness. They would like to work with you with your consciousness or the consciousness of the planet and work with you and talk with you about that, because that's going from lower to higher with the two rainbows, the lower pinnacle to the higher pinnacle. But the guy is standing on water, so that has to do with, I've learned lately from this, they've changed the meaning of this card lately to kind of mean kind of being fluid and not really completely grounded to the earthly plane, because he's standing on water, not land. And so they want me to read the book on that for you. Mastery of ease and skill creates a rainbow, making the act seem magical. Okay, so they're talking about working with you more in the capacity of things of magic, like from the olden days when people could do alchemy. They're talking about that with you. Like they want to start working into the realms of the different dimensions of this planet and what you can see, if we can see all the dimensions around us and things, you know, like in that kind of whimsical kind of subject matter. Portals, you know, going through portals, shape-shifting, energy, transformations, things like that. So they're saying like if you, and they're talking about, yeah, magical art. They indicate deep overall balance, allows for easy control of everyday life. They're talking about you're getting to a point where your physical life will be very easy for you to manage, because you're really balanced and you're getting easy control of everyday life. And then the gentleman dances through life, juggling work and joy. So they're saying as you get that part of the life all taken care of and you don't have to work so hard in that area of your life anymore, they want you to work more with them and kind of make time to work with them. And they said just kind of, they said they want you to just kind of let go of what your human brain says has to be. They want you, because they said like when we're children, they're saying when we're little children, we don't have those parameters. Children age 6 and under live in a beta, I think it's beta, brainwave state for, or is it gamma? Well, it's the one of fantasy. They live in the brainwave state of fantasy until they're 6 years old. So they don't have the rules and regulations of what can be and what can't be. And they said, go back to that. Work on that and explore that part of your consciousness now, and just let it go, and just go into the forest and just allow yourself to, and you might meditate, like you might close your mind, your eyes, and go into a trance-like meditative state, like sit up against a tree and meditate for a half hour and tune in and out and see where you go and see where they take you, because they would like to be your facilitators with that type of experience. So that's super cool. Let me see what else they want to say in the rest of that card. You have a full life, the ability to keep everything flowing. And that's why they led you to your guidance right now led you to the fasting thing, because what they're saying, what that really is that you've really just had a feeling of wanting to be in a faster flow, and your body wasn't keeping up with the consciousness. Your consciousness has switched to that. Oh, cool, I'll read your other message in a second. Your consciousness has kind of switched to that, but the physical body wasn't keeping up. So that's why you turned to the fasting, because you're thinking, well, you know, there's something going on. Well, what happens is the consciousness switches first, and then the physical body catches up, because the physical body is more dense, and the density of that physical body sometimes takes a little longer for us to manifest a faster body. So we've got to speed up our cellular mitochondria. We've got to speed up the vibrational rate of our cells in order to keep up with the higher level of consciousness that our consciousness just switched to. So they're saying they're working with you to find this new flow. And so your body's just going to start catching up to all that. And so just think of that, like you're just getting everything kind of put into a package of a quicker, faster flow. Now, they also want to say something else. You make it seem easy in not doing many things, but doing them well. They're saying you will get to a point where this kind of thing, they are going to move you into a new segment of consciousness where it's like you somehow just push the easy button on everything, and everything's just like everywhere. And that's a new thing for you, where everything's just going to be light and flowy, and they're coming in. They're showing me now. They're just like whisking in. They're just like whoosh in to your life at that point to help you to experience really cool things. And they're saying that they were with you for this part of your life too. This part of your life where you did the heavier journey as well, and did the more arduous tasks and trudged through the resistance. Because there they are again. Aha! What's in the background? Deer. Wow. The Sasquatch is just so cool. They're like, they pick humans like to kind of be their guides for their lives. Well, they said, we don't pick you. You guys have soul contracts with us. So we have soul contracts together. And I do know that they knew that from birth that we had a soul contract to work together in this manner now to help with the consciousness of the planet. So they're saying that they're with you then too, but you didn't recognize them. And so they're letting you know now that they're really excited to move forward into this new chapter of your life with you. And they said it's not by chance that you live where you live. You actually do live where you live, with an area with these unbelievable Sasquatch goings on so close to your house, so that you have this soul opportunity to work with them in this manner. So super cool. And there's, okay, so you were saying that he's saying he was wondering about the whole deer thing too, because he said a deer was staring at him this weekend from a short distance away. My intuition was wondering if it was them. I think that definitely is another thing they're talking about. Oh yeah, they're just pinging me. That's what this is. This is so cool. That's what this card is today. This card is to let you know, yes, it was them in the woods. That's the big subject matter of the pentacle there. It's like you wondering, is it them? Is it them? Is it them? Is it them? I get that all the time. They stand and they look at you and you're like, dude, are you or are you not a Sasquatch in a deer body? Yeah. I have a family where I frequent often that has 3 kids and a mom and a dad, for sure, in the clan, with other family members, extended family members too, I think. But I know for sure there's the 3 kids and the mom and dad. And one time I was doing chores when all of a sudden out came 3 baby deer and then a parent deer. And I just went, oh, that's the mom and the 3 kids. Because I was just telling them, I'm like, hey, come and say hi. I'm here working. I would love to see you. Come by and say hi to me. And then a short while later, I had 3 baby deer and the mom deer come walking out from behind the tree line. And I'm just like, yeah, that's who that is. That's so who that is. So what they're saying with this is that this is definitely a message to you from that deer. Maybe this is why I stopped deer hunting years ago. Oh, yeah. Well, the Sasquatchers are saying, we hunt deer too. So, they just said a guy's got to eat. And, we will make sure that we're not in there if you're going to be hunting deer. So they're like, don't worry about killing one of us accidentally when you're deer hunting. But they're saying, however, you were actually getting past life memories bleeding through with the deer thing and the not deer hunting anymore. That has to do with who you were in a past life where you were super connected, like you're going to start to be again now. That's the part of you that you're awakening in this life right now, is that. And so in the past, you were like that as a younger person, and you had quite the connection telepathically and energetically especially with the deer. And so yeah, that's why you didn't want to hunt them in this lifetime, because the deer are your friends. You were a really good animal communicator back then. And They're telling me, as a species on this planet, the future us in Bashar's world, Bashar, the extraterrestrial that works with a man named Daryl Anka and another guy too, but I forget his name. And they've been working together. Daryl Anka's been working with Bashar for over 40 years now. And Bashar says he's us from the future, and he has come back in time to help us ascend. And on their planet, which I have seen this coming for a while on Earth, and on their planet, the animals don't kill each other to eat, and the people don't kill the animals to eat. So nobody kills each other to eat on his planet. But yet there's tons of animals. But it's very synergistic. The animals themselves don't kill each other to eat either. And recently I was led to a video of a cat eating vegetables. They were eating red peppers, and they absolutely loved them. They were just like gorging on these red peppers. A person was cutting them up on a plate, and the cat just came running. And I went, wow, I've been told cats are only supposed to eat meat, and that's all they need to eat. They are the true pure carnivore on the planet that really is only designed just to eat their prey and kill their prey and eat it. And then, so we're evolving away from that as a species. And so, yeah, we're getting there as a planet. They just said, thank you so much for all the questions to them, they said. And they said, do you have any specific questions to them as a clan or as a people? They said, now's your chance. You've got Holly on the line. Once again, I'll show for people that maybe weren't here before. She just had this big bite, just a single bite taken out of her pumpkin. And I know where she lives, and I know she lives very close to the clan that I work with. And she also lives right in between a runway, or a highway, a thoroughfare between a wildlife refuge and where I work with my clan on a daily basis. She's right in between those two places. So they could easily be traveling here and there, and they know who she is. Because we have been working with this clan for a year now. Sandy is aware of them, and so this is fun. So let me pull a card on that and see what that bite could be. That's a is it one bite or multiple little bites? That's my question. I'm trying to read the energy now of that. But it looks very familiar to me. I see this shape. I'm zooming in on it. I see this shape in my things I give my Sasquatch clan in like the peanut butter. See if I can get this close enough for you guys to see. There's scrape marks. Right here and here and here. There is 3 scrape marks in the pumpkin that could definitely be fingernail marks. The first question is, will they ever show themselves to you in Sasquatch form? They said it's not a matter of them showing themselves to you, it's a matter of you seeing them. Because they said they don't like go out and just like, ta-da, I'm showing myself to you. It's like they're around all the time. It's a question of us being on a frequency high enough to be able to commune with them on their frequency and thusly manifest our own physical interaction with them in that way. Like I've had like, I don't know, 5 interactions with the clan that I've been working with for the last year, and it just happened, I'm just doing something and all of a sudden, boom, there they are. Mine have always been at nighttime, so I see the eyes, and I can't see the rest of the body because it's dark. So for me, a really good time for me to see them is always nighttime. Like every single time that I've ever seen them, it's always been after dark. From 2016 with the clan I lived with that summer and the whole summer, they were all around me all summer 24/7. It was always after dark. I felt them around me in the daytime, and so they can actually, increase their vibration to a rate where we cannot physically see them. But my horses can. My horses can always see them in the daytime, but I can't. I'll look and there'll be like nothing there. But they could be right there, and I just don't see them either. So it's not that they're trying to hide, it's just that they're really good at just melding in with the forest and the woods and the trees. And my human eye, like they're telling me to tell you this, like our human eyes are trained to see movement. So we don't see them unless they move. And it's very unfortunate for our species. So yeah, you're much more likely to see them and have an interaction in person with them after dark. For the rest of your lifetime, as things happen and things change, I do believe that you will actually work with them in a person-to-person format, more so in the daytime, because things are going to change. As our consciousness expands and the consciousness of the planet shifts and changes, I think our relationship with them will become more open. And I do believe that you will work with them in physical form in the daytime too. Treats that they prefer you bring, that's pretty funny. I just tried tomatoes with my clan and they totally didn't reciprocate. They did not like the tomatoes very much at all. And I just got the message a couple days ago that they would like me to bring them sticky buns. And I'm like, oh, I can make a heck of a batch of sweet rolls, but then I would gain 2 pounds doing that. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to like buy some at Walmart. But they're so good. And I do know that there's a clan in like Oklahoma that works with a lady there that she's known them for like, she's worked with them for like 30 years. And they come up and speak to her in English. Yeah, in English. They come and talk to her. And she makes them sweet rolls all the time. And they absolutely love them. It's considered something else. Really? Okay. All right. But anyway, they said fruit for you. They said tropical fruit. Pineapple. They would love some pineapple. They said they would love sticky buns as well. Muffins. Muffins. Sticky buns. Pineapple. I'm asking if they like cookies. I felt like somebody in the background said cookies. They said, oh yes. I just use vanilla yogurt or almond milk and some Crisco and whip them up for them. And every single time I give those, every single one is gone. Because I was looking for something to give them in the wintertime that would not freeze, because most of these foods we're talking about are not good to eat frozen. And my friend Tom Cantrell, who is a legend in the Bigfoot community, told me to give them buttermilk biscuits. He said that is their favorite. And it definitely is one of their favorites as well. They really, really like those too. So hopefully those are some good ideas for you. They just said pineapple upside down cake. Yeah, that's a good one. And best time of day to visit them, yeah, I think we covered that one. Definitely. I'll ask them. They said anytime is fine. They said anytime that works for you is fine for them. They said they're around any time of day. They know you're coming. They said just, telepathically they're going to get the message that you're coming. They said they're happy and excited to see you at whatever time of day works best for you. They're totally cool with it. They said you don't have to wait. You do not have to wait till nighttime. They said like if you sit quietly at a tree, they said if you sit there long enough, we would come out. But, the long enough part is the problem. I know Tom Cantrell said that he would sit sometimes for a full hour, but he had work to do, so he was doing his work at the same time. They also said it might take multiple times until something happens as well. So the long enough also means, you might have to go 8 times before one thing, happens to you. But, they said consistency is the most important thing. If you are consistent with them, you will have results. They said it's the consistent people that have the encounters. Okay. And, are you wondering if you're going to be moving to the Black Hills, or are you wondering if you're going to go there and start working with them from that area? I just got a huge one for energy from that area of the country. As soon as I think about the Black Hills, immediately I think of how squatchy that area is because of all the big pine trees. They love areas with all those trees. Oh, they said, this clan said probably not. they would not, because he asked if I moved to the Black Hills, will they move there with me? He said they probably would not. He said, but they would let their friends there know that you're there. Just like I went to Park City, Utah last March, and the clan there gave me a sign of hello. And I went to Medora, North Dakota a year ago, and I had interactions with the clan there, and they said they were told that I would be coming. And they were waiting for me when I got there. There was 3 Sasquatches on the property. I could fully see them, except it was nighttime, so I saw them move. I saw their bodies move, but I only saw the eyes, right? But there was 3 of them there to greet me when we got there. And so when I was skiing at Lutsen, northern Minnesota, last April, and I was on my way, I was done for the day, and I was on my way back to the lodge, and I was skiing on a flat part, and I looked, and all of a sudden, a fresh break from a tree jumped out at me. I'm like, that's them saying hello. They knew I was going to come today. They knew I was going to turn my head and look right there, and they broke a tree to say, hey, Holly, hello, nice to see you. So it's about that. They're all one, telepathically and energetically, and they will definitely pick up with you there. And that's kind of most of the time the case. They usually stay in their place that they decided geographically to live in. However, that's just they said that's for us just an expansion, because we will now have our other clan, and then we'll have our new clan, so we'll have more. Versus this, they said don't go to the frequency of scarcity and worry about the scarcity of them not being there. Worry about us being able to interact with more of them from the new location. They're gonna do their thing in their place, but we just have to assume that that is our destiny. Next, Sandy texted me a photo of a bite mark out of her pumpkin, asking if I could tell who did it. That is really very familiar. I have seen, we did something with flour last summer, and I got those same marks, and I can show you some peanut butter that I have those same swipe marks in the peanut butter. And we also have those same exact swipe marks on a deer hide from last winter. When Sasquatches gifted us deer hide, I'm only seeing the one large dip, which is the same thing we saw on the deer hide, which could be the edge of a sharpened Sasquatch fingerprint, right? Like that. They could go into the pumpkin and they can take a scratch of it and take a taste. So it might not be a bite, it might be a scratch. And they might be saying hello. They might have decided they wanted to come by and leave you a little sign as they're moving through, because I know you live right in the area. They could pop right in if they wanted to, and they know you. So let me pull a card and see with my cards who did what to it. I don't even know if it's a bite or if it's a scratch mark yet. So let's just say who did this to your pumpkin, okay? The Sasquatches are saying, you know, an animal with a bite mark, you're not going to see that horizontal swipe from the inside to the outside with a bite. With a bite, you would see marks going from both edges into the middle. But we don't see that. We're seeing them going from the middle to the outside as a swipe mark. And to me, they are exactly, those marks look exactly like what I have in the peanut butter. And I just got some more in the peanut butter this fall as well. And so to me, and since they look just like the deer hide scratches, I am very suspicious that they could be Sasquatch fingernail marks. Let us, also they're saying, was there any debris laying around the pumpkin at all? Is there any little pieces around anywhere? Most of the time with Sasquatches, you're not going to see any scraps around. but with other animals, you might see a mess. You'll see a little bit sometimes with Sasquatches, but they're usually pretty neat when it comes to eating. So let's pull a card on who did that in general. Who did that to you, Pumpkin? What was your telepathic message in your mind when you first saw the mark? Because that can be really important as well, because what happens to an object when someone does something to it is they leave an energetic imprint on it, and you can telepathically read that. When you come upon the item, the imprint left from the event that happened to it is energy that you can read, and you can access with you're accessing the Akashic record. You're accessing that timeline of the past. You're moving a little bit back into the past, and you're reading what happened, because we all can do that. Okay, let me get to the card part and pull a card on that. I just pulled some cards. I'll hold them up on the screen now so you can see what I'm getting. But I'm getting no indication of a small critter, and I'm getting indications that the Sasquatches saw you put the pumpkin out and they wanted to come and say hi. And I'll show you how I'm getting that from the cards right now on the screen. Oh, they just said too, they can shapeshift into a deer. So they can. But that doesn't seem like a deer at all. No, a deer can't do a tiny little mark like that with horizontal scratch marks. Like, no, that doesn't work. It has to be something they can take a swipe out things and other scratch marks. See, the telltale sign of the Sasquatches is that they only do one thing, and that's it. There's nothing else done to it. There's no mess around. You know, if a bird's going to peck a hole in something, you're going to see sometimes residuals around or extra peck marks that are outside or different indications. So I'm trying to think right now, you know, overnight, and it happened at overnight, right? Question mark? Now, a bird's not going to peck at it in the nighttime. Okay, so the first card they gave was this. This goes back to what I was just doing with Steve, where they were saying they were the deer. So they were saying, like, them. So now they're saying, like, this is a card for them, because they said there's no Sasquatch in the tarot cards. So they're using this deer for them to show, you know, okay, yeah, you were talking earlier about us, right? Like, this is kind of an us card. Oh, and then nighttime with the moon being where it is right now. I have to go see what phase the moon is in right now. That would be interesting if the moon is in that phase, because I know it is waning from a full moon right now. So, yeah, that could be interesting. And then the next thing they're saying is you with the pumpkin. So there's you putting out the pumpkin so that they knew you put out the pumpkin. And then this is the land that you and I have in common. This is you, but this is the land. So they're saying, like, you know, us from the land. The Sasquatch is from the land. So that's cool, because this is like a pasture it's a piece of open land, and Sandy and I have some connections to the same piece of land, and so does the Sasquatch clan. So the Sasquatch clan that I work with, and Sandy and me, we all have a connection through this piece of land, and so they're talking about from the land. And then this is really funny, because this is me and Sandy's daughter chatting it up, and something happened with me and Sandy's daughter last fall, a year ago, with the Sasquatches while we were chatting in a little building just like this building in this card. So then I'm reading the other animals in the card, and I'm getting no energy that it would be a cat or a duck or a goose or, you know, any of the other entities in the card. They're just referring to the situation with the Sasquatches last fall when we were in the building. They actually hit the side of the building super hard while we were in there chatting. It was amazing, and that will be an upcoming video on my YouTube channel. We're going to be talking about it together very soon and making a video about it. So watch for that on my channel. And then they said this, which is, that's you, and them talking about the claws of the cat. Like, the big cat has the big hands, the big claws of a cat, and they can claw. But they said it's not like a deep claw mark like a bear would put into it. It's a more shallow claw, because they're saying these animals have long, thin claws. And they have human fingernails. And I know that the Sasquatch's fingernails are long and pointed. They're pointed at the tip, and they can use them to cut open a piece of salmon in the belly. They can cut a fish's belly with their fingernail, take out the innards, eat the salmon, or eat the eggs. Like, there was one guy that watched a Sasquatch after the salmon spawned, and they picked up the salmon out of the water, they slit open the stomach with their fingernail, they took out the eggs, and they threw away the rest of the salmon. And they were doing it over and over and over and over again, just using their fingers to slit it open. So that was very interesting. So they were using this to say that they used their claws, their fingernails, but, you know, not the same as these, but the claws. See the claws on these? There you go. There's the shape of the claws. They look very similar to a Sasquatch fingernail. Or tell me, what is the outlook that the Sasquatches stopped by to say a little hello to Sandy? They said they would say hello to you more often, but you don't usually leave much out that they can say hello to you with. So they said they would definitely keep that up. If you want to keep that up, they would keep up that relationship with you in that manner and do some fun things. I have a friend that has had an experience with a Sasquatch right in the middle of town. He was walking on a trail that's like a city trail, right a couple blocks off from the business district, and he said he knew there was a Sasquatch there watching him. He could just tell he was there. I would go with that. Let me pull one more time and confirm that. It was one of the sons in the Sasquatch family, the boys, or they just said the boys. It was the boys, because here they're talking, this is a man card, but it's not a man. It's supposed to be for the teenage brother. And then they're showing scratch marks on the deer hide, the same ones that made the scratch marks on the deer hide, because that's the shape of the scratches on the deer hide, and that is like how we got the deer hide last winter from them, that was peeled off by them with their own bare hands, and that's why it had the fingernail marks all over the deer hide. And I'm going to do a video on that soon. So once again, confirmations to the same thing as before, and they're saying, yeah, they were going through. They were passing through here. This is them passing through. That is them passing through. So yep, that's the boys. See, the boys will be boys. Boys are playing some little tricks, having some fun. And this is them showing that, like, the thoroughfare. They're going here, between here and the forest that I know is nearby your house. And I remember this now. They just said to me to tell you. They just said to me, yeah, she said before she thought they were at her house. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that now. And I was going to go inspect. We were going to go look and see what was going on around there. And yeah, you actually have a really good location. I'm thinking of where you are now. Yeah, you have a really good location for them doing things to you on your property. Oh yeah, see? I didn't even remember that till now, so that's even more credible that I didn't even think of that till just now. So there you go. That's phenomenal. Well, I love it when I get correlations like that. So that's awesome. We're going to wrap this session up for tonight. Thank you all so much, and I'll do this again soon, in probably a couple of weeks or so, and we can connect again there. And thank you everybody so much for coming. And this will be posted on my YouTube channel, so if you missed it live, you can watch this again on my YouTube channel at Holly Burns Psychic. Thank you so much, everybody. Bye-bye.